Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name's Katie. I'm an author and an editor. I have 8 books out currently, and we're gonna be doing the yearly wrap-up video. I do a couple of these end of the year videos. I think this will be the first of them. This one is the more like general one. Basically, we're going to be talking about how 2022 went working for myself, compare it to previous years, go through lots of stats. I got lots of fun pie charts, all that kind of stuff. These are some of my favorite videos to make. I am making this a little bit before the end of the year, but I felt pretty comfortable compiling all of the numbers and stuff ahead of time. I don't think they're going to change that significantly, so like give or take a percent maybe. Yeah, let's jump straight into it. The things that we're going to be looking at are the different percentages, different areas of my job and where the income comes from, and then comparing those same percentages to the previous year. Has it grown? Which of my books sold the most? Like which individual titles sold the most copies, that kind of thing. Now, like I said, this is going to be the more generalized video, so we're going to be talking in terms of percentages, not in actual numbers. However, I do videos with actual numbers. Those will be coming in January once I have all of the final data for the year in. I usually do an income report, and then I'll probably do a video on exactly how many books I sold this year. One of them will definitely be on Patreon, and the other one will probably be over here. If you didn't know, I have a Patreon page. I have it linked down below. It's a pay what you can system. No matter what tier you're a part of, you get access to everything, and I post bonus content over there every month. But I think that's all we need for this intro. Let's jump straight into it. In case you happen to be new here, let me breeze through what books I have real quick. So I currently have 3 poetry collections out and 5 novels. So on the novel front, we have the Anti-Virginity Pact, Young Adult Coming of Age, Anti-Relationship Year, New Adult Romance, and then my Marionettes series, which are New Adult Dark Fantasy with Vampires. And if you get the hardcovers, they all have bonus content in the back and fancy formatting. And then for poetry collections, we have the Sweetest Kind of Poison, Poems for the End of the World, and Breakable Things. I had 2 book releases in 2022. Breakable Things came out in April, and then Bloodless Ties came out in November. Other notable things for 2022, I moved. I used to live in Denver, Colorado. I'm currently living in Portland, Oregon. My books have really become the main focus income-wise, so I've been doing a little bit less with like my editing clients and with, you'll see the other categories for my work. So some categories have gone down percentage wise, but it's been intentional. What I've done in the past is I've showed like the previous pie charts, so you can see the evolution of how all of these different categories have done in the previous couple of years. I'm not going to do that in this video just because we've done so many update videos at this point. I'd have to go through like 5 different pie charts per category, and it's just like too much. So if you haven't seen the previous update videos and you're curious on how these categories looked in the past, I'll have the playlist link down below. I'm just gonna stop talking. We're just gonna show the charts. This first pie chart is breaking down the 4 major categories of my income, and this year I decided to separate them a little bit differently. We have books, editing, socials, and then my rental property. So here on the screen you can see the pie chart. We have books as our biggest category, which was my goal for this year, at about 40%, editing at about 17%, socials at about 20%, and my rental property at about 24%. Socials has a lot of different things that go into that category, so I also made a little more detailed pie chart that breaks that down even further. But I also want to note, I ended up compiling all of these stats based on my gross income, not my net income, just because originally the way that I had my spreadsheet set up, it was like some of it was gross and some of it was net, and it was just like it got too complicated, so I just decided to do gross for everything. I do keep track of my expenses, so maybe that's something we'll show in like the income report video or something, but I just wanted to throw that out there. This is gross, not net. I haven't deducted any of my expenses from this. So this is the chart that shows everything that goes into the social category. Creator funds is like what I get paid for the Instagram Reels bonuses, or from TikTok. Ads are the ads that are running on my videos. Patreon, self-explanatory. Affiliate link, sponsorships for the videos, and then digital downloads, which are these self-publishing 101 guides you can download on my website. You can see ads is only like 3%. Patreon is the biggest of the chunk at 9%. Sponsors is about 5%. And then other than creator fund being almost 2%, everything else is under 1%. But collectively, this category makes up about 20%. I'm super happy with the way that this pie chart looks. Like I said, it's been my goal for my books to become a bigger portion of my income. My goal I think I said in the previous video, was the next time we did a check-in, I wanted it to be at least a third. I wanted it to be past 33%, which it is. And the rental property in particular, it looks like such a big chunk, but this is without deducting my mortgage. So the pie chart would look very different without that. That 23% or 24% would look more like, I don't know, like 6 or 7%. If we're talking net, which is why I just wanted to throw that in there. And then books looks more like 50% in that kind of case. So I'm really, really pleased with how heavy of a weight the books are carrying this go around. Editing is still a solid little chunk. I'm taking on far fewer editing clients these days, which I'm happy about. I really like the balance that I have right now. And then as far as social stuff goes, I'm taking on fewer and fewer sponsors, so that number has just been going down each time we've done these check-ins, which is how I want it to be. I'm really, really grateful that Patreon has stayed a pretty significant portion, so thank you so much if you support me over there. But then you can see like ads and like all of that kind of affiliate links, all the things that are directly related to YouTube has really gone down, which is amusing to me because that used to be the largest chunk in these pie charts. Now let's compare these categories to last year. So we'll start with editing. In 2021, editing was 35% of my income versus about 17% this year. For books, it was 27% versus 39%. Socials was 38% versus 19%. And then I didn't have my rental property, or I did have it, but I was living in it. I wasn't renting it. So it was 0 compared to about 23%. And then as far as totals go, my overall income had a percent increase of 121%, and book sales was about a 400% increase. So now let's look into the breakdown of which books of mine sold the most. Clearly there is one front runner here with the anti-relationship year at about 46%. I had a lot of videos go viral for this video when I was marketing it, so that is 100% what I attribute that to. Considering this was my lowest seller for a while, that's kind of crazy. Coming in at number 2 is the Marionettes at 23%. I'm pretty sure this pie chart looked exactly the same the last time we did a check-in, with Marionettes around like 23% or something. Wicked Souls being at about 15%. Bloodless Ties is at about 6%. But this data is for about a month of sales because the book just came out. Breakable Things is at about 1.1%. The Sweetest Kind of Poison 0.2%. The Anti-Virginity Pact about 7%, and Poems for the End of the World about 1.4%. So you can see collectively the poetry doesn't even take up 3%. And then the Pact series together is over 50%, which is interesting, an interesting breakdown. So those are all of my pie charts and little graphics that I have for you guys today. If you have any questions that you want answered in the next 2 parts of these videos, the income report and that how many books did I sell this year report, feel free to leave those in the comments down below. I did ask on Instagram if you guys had any questions for this video. Advice for indie authors debuting in 2023. I would say stay the course, have patience, but then also enjoy each step of the process as much as you can. I see such different results now that I have 8 books out compared to when I had like 1, 2, 3, even 4 books out. So if you're not seeing the results that you want to see straight away, stick with it. Things can drastically change from year to year. But then also don't just spend all of your time waiting for that breakthrough moment, waiting for things to change. There's a lot to be enjoyed and a lot to cherish about those like early days when you're first publishing your first book. So enjoy it, make friends in the community, make friends with other authors, and don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Do you want to keep editing, or is it your end goal to solely have your books as income? This is an interesting question. I do still enjoy editing, but I would like it to be like I'm editing because I enjoy it and I want to take on clients, but I want to be more selective about which projects I bring on, so I'm only working on books that I like really love. And to the point where like, again, I'm doing it because I want to, not because I necessarily need that income. And I am kind of getting to that point now, which is, you could see from editing being a much smaller percent this time around. So I don't know if I will ever give up editing completely, but I do in the coming years see it as taking a pretty major backseat to the books once those are at a level where I can afford to do that. I mean, that's always been the goal. I've always been more invested in my books than in editing. If I had to choose one or the other, I would choose my books any day. I do still enjoy editing, and I really am grateful for the freedom and flexibility and security net that editing has allowed me to have. I don't think I'd ever get rid of it completely, but I could see myself only taking on like a handful of clients in a year. What was your biggest worry overall when it came to books sold? Basically, when the book started like really selling well this year, There's this like moment of panic where you think it's a fluke and you're gonna get this spike and then it's gonna go away and it's never gonna happen again. And so having this stress of like being able to maintain that and keep up with this momentum, that was stressful, especially when you see your numbers start to go down and your videos aren't performing as well anymore. It's stressful trying to make it sustainable in an environment where a lot of the times you don't feel like you have a lot of control, because who knows, with social media and the algorithms, you don't have a whole lot of control in that. And then the last question we'll answer is, what would you do differently in 2023? This is a good segue because I was going to talk about 2023 anyway. I don't necessarily have things I would do differently as in they were like a mistake in 2022, so I want to do them differently this year. I just have like 2023 is going to look different and I just have different plans for 2023. 2022 was actually, believe it or not, kind of a break year for me. I only published one novel and one poetry collection. I took a lot of time off. I took a lot of time to like work on myself and kind of recover from burnout. And I'm feeling so much better now, so I feel like 2023 is going to be a heavier workload because I want it to be. I'm excited to get back into my projects. I'm excited to get back to work. So I'm planning on publishing at least 2 books in 2023, both of them being novels, Broken Perfect Lies and Ruthless Ends. I want to write honestly at least 4 books next year, which I think is super doable. I have plenty of books outlined, ready to go. I'm excited to jump back into it. So honestly, I'm really happy with where I'm at. I feel like I've been doing a good job of maintaining more balance in my life. So I kind of just want to stay the course that I'm on. I want to keep on doing what I've been doing while also staying open-minded and receptive to whatever opportunity comes my way. I do want to branch out when it comes to marketing and selling my books, so I don't have to rely on social media so much. A really big way that I sell my books is through TikTok and Instagram, which has been a godsend this year, but I really don't want it to be so make it or break it with me and my book sales, because that's again really stressful when you don't have control over that. So I would like to, I've already like ventured into other spaces, but I've yet to find one be as successful as social media. So I would like to improve the other ways that I sell my books. Yeah, I let other people's opinions get in my head a little bit this year, which like you never want to do, and sometimes it just happens. For 2023, a really big focus is to write the books that I want to write, love the books that I want to write, not let other people's opinions hold so much weight, not let other people's opinions determine what decisions I make. Trust my instincts more, basically. Have a little more faith in myself, have a little more confidence in myself. But anyway, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. Thank you so much for sticking around on the channel this year. I hope you enjoyed the content over here. Thank you if you've ever picked up any of my books. Broken Perfect Lies is currently up for pre-order. It's coming out on February 20th. It's a standalone romantic suspense, spicy bodyguard romance meets Hannah Montana. Then Ruthless Ends is the 4th book in the Marionettes series, and that will be coming out September 22nd, I think. If you want to apply to be an ARC reader for me, that application is down below, as well as signing up to be part of the cover reveal team for Broken Perfect Lies. Other than that, I think we're gonna keep this video as short and sweet as possible, and I will see you guys in the next 2 like end of year wrap up videos very, very soon. Bye. No.